Hi everyone. What I'm going to try to show in this video is some experimentation that I've done in an effort to get some clearer, better audio into my videos. We've all had it happen where we've taken a video using our cameras with their onboard microphone and ended up with an excessive amount of wind noise. What I decided to fool around with here was to use my iPhone to record a separate audio track and then bring that into Final Cut Pro and sync them together so that the final output on my video was much better sound. My search began by looking for some low-cost alternatives, and the one that seemed to be pretty popular that I came across was a purple Panda kit. Basically, it's a lavalier microphone with a built-in foam windscreen, and the kit included an extension cable, some adapters, and also a dead cat windscreen for those very windy situations. For this purpose of this trial, I used the standard voice memos app that's built into our iPhones, and I just simply plugged it in and recorded away. One thing that you will need to get if you're using an iPhone is the Lightning to 3.5 millimeter headphone jack adapter, which did not come with the Panda kit. And of course the Panda kit comes in a nice handy dandy little bag to put everything in, and it takes virtually no space at all in your camera bag or whatever. This is what the setup looked like when I finally went out to capture some video and some audio tracks. I basically connected the lavalier microphone to my shirt, and then I used my AirPod Pro case as a makeshift clapperboard. Now, one thing to keep in mind is I would start the recording on the phone, put it in my pocket, and then bring out the camera, turn that on, and start recording the video and audio in the camera. And when I was done, I would shut that off and then pull the phone out of my pocket and shut the recording on that. The end result is the length of the recorded track off of the iPhone is going to be longer than the length of the video track that I got out of the camera. That turned out to be no problem at all when I got it into Final Cut Pro. It had no problem at all synchronizing the two tracks together, even though they were of different lengths. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. When you get back to your computer and you start wanting to put all of this together, you bring the files into Final Cut Pro, and in my example here, file indicated as number 1 is the audio file that I recorded off of my phone, and then number 2 here is the video file that I recorded off of my camera, which of course has its own audio track. Now, once you highlight both of these by pressing Command and then clicking on each one of the two on the Mac, and then you go up to the top and you select Clip, and under Clip you'll see Synchronized Clips. And what Final Cut will do is merge all of this together to create the file indicated here as number 3, which is a synchronized file. And that file has your video as well as the camera's audio track and the separate audio track that you recorded off of another device. So all of that's going to be merged into a single file. I should mention that when these files are created, you need to have some kind of way of setting a point in there that Final Cut can use to merge the two audio files together. In my case, I used my AirPod case as a kind of clapperboard, so that when I clapped it down, it made a sound that appeared very distinctly on the two tracks, and then Final Cut could use that to merge them together. Some people will just do a single hand clap, but some way to make some sort of a sound that will help Final Cut merge the two audio tracks together. The next step is to take the synchronized file and bring it down into your storyline. And once it's down there, you can open up the audio configuration panel and you can decide which of the two audio tracks you want to use. In this case here, the one called Storyline, which is unchecked, happens to be the audio track that came from the camera, and the other one, called Dialogue 1 or Connected, happens to be the audio track that came out of the iPhone that was recorded on a separate device. And what you'll see in the coming examples here is the first example will be with the audio track that came out of the camera, and the second clip will be with the audio track that was recorded separately using the lavalier mic on the iPhone. Notice at the beginning of each of the tracks the effect that it had on the wind noise, because the wind noise was most prevalent at the beginning of the track. Now, isn't this interesting? One thing for sure, there are different alternatives that we can use for connecting a microphone up to our iPhones or to our cameras. And there's a whole variety of them. I chose the purple Panda because to me it was, for $35 or $40, it met my needs on what I could use to kind of eliminate some of that wind noise. Shown here also is the Shure MV88. Now that's a more expensive alternative. It's about $150, and it'll give you a more broad type of capture as far as if you're trying to record like a concert or something of that type. So there's different kinds of microphones for different situations, and certainly different price points to go on that. Now the other thing to keep in mind here is I was using the iPhone with voice memos to capture a separate soundtrack to merge with the audio and video that I recorded off of a camera. But more times than not, I'm recording video directly on my iPhone, in which case there is none of that synchronization and merging required, because I can record directly into the iPhone video that I capture in there. So just keep that all in mind, that there's different ways of hooking all of this together. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.